Welcome to the channel where we talk about all things regenerative and how we can cultivate Christmas trees, chestnuts, beef, and poultry all together right here in Ohio. And today we're going to do a farm tour of Eat Food for Life farm here in Yorkshire, Ohio. And I'm really excited about this one. This is a beef operation. They also have a dairy operation, which is actually a separate operation entirely, which we're going to get into later on in the video. So Dan, you are the owner of the farm?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
How'd you get into this whole farming operation?
I was originally born and raised in North Star, which is about 5 miles from here, and my grandfather, Barney and Florence, lived here. So they passed away, and then the house was vacant for about 10 years. As I was living in Dayton, my health really started to decrease. And so I had tried a number of things and was vegan for a while, no animal products at all, and that was a disaster. So it was kind of through that whole experience that God was calling me back to the farm. One of the first things we did was to start with eggs, because that's really simple. And but it was on my heart from the beginning to do it without chemicals, to do it organically. So it all started really in '97, and then we started to direct sell our products there at Dayton Street Public Market.
And so you've been doing a direct-to-consumer model the whole time?
Yes, yep, because that was on our heart also.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole chemical-free thing, and then to go direct, not to go through a middleman in any way. Not that that's bad, but that's not what we were called to.
Right.
Yeah.
And so your bread and butter essentially is beef. You're selling cattle?
Yeah, now we have kind of two sides of the farm here.
Right.
The S&D dairy, the Smith dairy, where we do the raw dairy products. And then on this half, we do the meat, milk, bread, and eggs. But they do entirely just dairy on that side. But we always say the meat, milk, bread, and eggs. And as far as milk, milk, cream, yogurt, butter, cheese, all those things.
Covering all your bases is there.
Yeah, come from a gallon of milk.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's all done through a herd share program. You buy in and own part of the herd, and then you pay a boarding fee, which gives you access to the raw milk.
All right, well, you want to get us started?
Yeah,
Start taking a look around?
So we pretty much have steers on this side and then calves on this side. And in the winter, of course, they're here, but they're not here right now because they're out on pasture. And we rotate the paddocks, the cows, once a week. So pretty much every 6 weeks, pastures pretty much regenerate in 40 days. So that's 6 weeks, 6 times 7 is 42. So that's why we put them and change them every week.
Okay.
We put them on a new paddock every week.
Every week.
Out here, marshmallows, as we say, fermented hay, which is a tremendous technology. And that technology allows hay to be baled wet. And so when you bale it wet, I know Dad used to do everything dry, small squares dry, and store it up in the barns. Tremendous labor. And of course, all of that's been revolutionized to round bales, sealed now as in plastic. And so we feed that during the winter. But then any time from April through October, they're out on pasture. You can see the cows. These are the steers. Yeah, older ones here. And then, of course, the younger ones, the calves are here. But pretty much we have about 20 calves and 20 steers. So we harvest them year round. And so their diet, we're all green because a cow is a ruminant. It's designed to eat green. Hogs and chickens don't have a rumen, and so they eat grain. It's ideal for them to get a little bit of green and, of course, be outside. So the diet is different for a cow versus a hog and a chicken. But yeah, between the pasture of the green and then the marshmallows, which is fermented hay, that is their diet.
So what's the advantage of fermenting the hay?
Yeah, so when you ferment, all the little microbes do some digestion work. So the animal spends less energy digesting, and by that, they are able to put on more flesh because they're not spending that energy on digestion. They're spending that energy on packing on flesh.
So are these marshmallows, is that your supply for all year long, or do you just feed that to them over winter?
Yeah, now actually part of this is for the dairy as well.
Okay.
So this is kind of what's left over. However, what happens in late July, August, the pastures pretty much are reduced because of the rain. And so then we feed the marshmallows. So even though marshmallows aren't being fed right now, late July, August, we do feed marshmallows until the fall comes. Then they're back out on pasture.
So do those expire at all?
You know, they 1 to 2 years. So they really don't expire per se. They just kind of lose some potency as time goes on.
Okay.
But we definitely feed them up in a 2-year period.
Right, so you'll use all that up.
Yeah.
And you get them like that already wrapped up?
You know, I used to do it all, meaning to cut it, rake it, and bale it, and then bring it up here. And a bale wrapper we had come in each time. But now the technology is, I don't have the equipment, but with one phone call, we have them come in with a machine that both bales it and wraps it, and just lays the marshmallow there, and then with our skid loader we pick it up and bring it up to the house here. Because you'll notice too, it doesn't need any storage. It's got its own storage. So
That's a big advantage.
Yes, yes. No more putting all the hay in the barn.
Yeah.
And a silo too. I don't know if you can see it. The heritage of the farm, my grandfather always fed silage, which is chopped corn. And so back in the day, that was really popular. Now it's still popular, even though our raw dairy thing is green. But a lot of farms feed, not small farms, but feed silage. And then they pile it outside and then put plastic over the top of it. So it's a one big, huge mound of plastic. But the silo technology is pretty much obsolete.
Yeah.
With the steers out here, you'll see, some of them are the Galloways, and then some are the Angus. So Angus tend to have a little more weight to them, but the Galloways are closer to the ground. So they're really good grazers, the Galloways are.
I think you said this already, but how many head of cattle do you have?
Yeah, so 20 calves and then 20 steers.
Okay.
And then I have some mamas, but then we also utilize a couple other small farms that produce the calves. So then I'll buy some calves from them at 400 pounds and raise them up to 1,100 pounds. We have the Galloway bull. I think that's him way at the end there. Yeah. So we do some breeding here, but I don't want to tie up a lot of the land with mama cows. Yeah. I'd rather have calves and steers grazing rather than mama cows. And then our compost piles, that's our fertilizer. The biggest field we have, that's going to be all wheat this year. Okay. Yep. And then back on the left is hay, and then we have a little bit of acreage across the road. Back over there is going to be beans. So we really have a 4-year rotation of corn, beans, hay, and grain. And that grain can either be wheat or oats.
Have you had a pretty dry spring so far?
Yeah,
we have too.
Now we just got this rain, which was good. But before that, April was surprisingly dry.
Yeah.
But that whole thing too of cover crops, that's a means of fertilizer. That green that grows up, whether it be rye or whatever green it is turned down, and then that's green manure. Mm-hmm. So between that and the compost, that is the manure. Of course, the cows pretty much on the pastures, they're constantly providing that fertility of their urine and feces. Mm-hmm. So that kind of takes care of itself.
And are you on, how many acres? Is that 140?
So, 140 acres, okay. Right.
Walk me through your rotational grazing methods.
This, is a perimeter fence. And so that is all around, except right here, it's just single strand. So then you have your exterior, which is really sturdy. And then you have your interior lines, which are just electric rope. And I just create them. So that's real thin, one line, because if they happen to break through that, so what? I mean, you know, you correct it that night and you put a new strand or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but we rotate them every week. So they go to a new paddock every week. And then once they are through with the 6th paddock, then they come back to the 1st paddock. They're on, the 5th one. I just put them on the 5th one there today. These others now are closed off to give the grass a chance to regenerate.
Okay.
And of course, that big yellow thing in the sky does all the work. That principle of, yes, not having chemicals, anything, you know, there's livestock above the ground and a lot more livestock below the ground.
Yes, exactly.
And so it's never a good time to kill your livestock.
Yeah. So I see you have a water source right here. Do they have a water source out there?
They do not.
So
So they have to walk up
Okay.
and get their water here.
Okay.
Now, it would be ideal if they would have water way out there, you know?
Right.
That whole thing, and I've kind of experimented with that. Then you have to do that maintenance because this water source, too, water is water. So even though it should be 100% no issue, you always have issues. And if it runs all night long, you have a mess.
Yep.
So this is easy to check each day, a minute, and you check the water, and you're done.
So as a floater, so it autofills?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And that's just, I have a water line that comes out right here, and I just have garden hose to it. Now the shelters there are just, as it starts to get warm, they have an opportunity to get some shade. These steers get their shade from the overjet. Once it gets hot from noon to 3, they pretty much want to be out of the sun.
Yeah. What about in the winter time? How do you prevent water from freezing?
So of course the water here I shut off, and then I have electric water up in the overjet. You know, you can buy just water heaters, and they have to be plugged in, you know, but then they do a good job of not having the water freeze. Yeah, and so the same thing for the calves. The calves then are in the barn. I have electric waters in the barn as well. Now they make waters now with the technology that you don't need electric. It's a float, so each time the animal I don't have one, but each time the animal presses on it, then water comes up and gives them water and then goes back down. The Iowa faucet is the same principle. I mean, that's been around for 50 years, you know. So if I had to put a water in today, it would be that kind of water. You know, this barn used to kind of be used in the same way that my grandfather used it. And we haven't hauled this out yet. We don't until about July. But this is their home for the winter months.
Oh, wow.
So kind of nothing special. Now we do use the straw, the hay mile for the straw, but Dad used to pack all the hay in these hay miles. Tremendous work. Small squares, all dry. So as a kid, you know, you need a 3-day window for dry hay. And it was always that stress of cutting it and then making sure you made hay and it didn't get wet. And in the skid loader, that too is a key tool to lift those marshmallows.
Yep.
This is where the pigs, these are large blacks, and so they really have great flavor meat. And pigs too, they love to just be like that. They love their water holes and they love weeds and they just want to be outside. What happens though is you get predators, and as soon as it gets dusk, they do what they do. So the whole thing of shutting this up opening it in the morning and shutting it at night. Of course, they have to have water too. So as you run these eggmobile over pasture, you have to have the issue of maintaining the water. And so all of that adds labor.
Yep.
It yields the absolute best egg, but then it's higher labor.
Yep.
You know, so we have it sitting here. We really don't use it anymore. The chickens layers just kind of is the old school, because my grandfather used it in the same capacity here. 300 plus hens and
Some Rhode Island Reds.
actually they're they're golden comets. Excuse me. Yeah. Yep. We've gone full circle. We've had Rhode Island Reds, barred Plymouth Rocks, but these are real steady. The golden comets, Are
they?
Yeah. We just find them to be real steady. And the beauty of God's creation is that a chicken, changes grain into an egg. The miracle.
Yeah.
Cows turn green into white. A miracle.
Yep.
Wow. Like I say, we started out with the eggmobile and moving them, and then had some predator issues. So this is where I've ended up. So these 3 bins, of oats and corn and beans. So we just pull the grinder up here, and then load it up with those 3 grains, and then fill the bins, the hog bin and the chicken bin. So yeah, all these bins too are small. It's all small scale. Yeah. Yep. We have the 2 barns here of different equipment, and all the equipment too is kind of old, but yet
You mean reliable?
reliable. Yes, and you can fix it. It's kind of a going back to how it used to be.
Yeah.
Yep, going back to how it used to be.
We find ourselves doing that quite a bit on our farm operations, going back to how things used to be.
Yes.
It's a common theme.
Right. Yep.
Okay, so that was the Eat Food for Life operation with Dan. So now we're doing a part 2 of the tour, which is the S&D Smith dairy operation. We're gonna see how they do a little bit of their dairy operation regeneratively, and we're gonna see some of their cattle for that side of things. So now I'm here with Laramie.
Yep.
Laramie, how did you get involved in this farming business?
Actually, I married into it. My wife was doing this before I was. I've been here probably 4 or 5 years. Started as just a milk hand and whatever. Now I basically run the operation.
Wow.
Definitely about a 7-day-a-week job. So really don't get time off, but that is what it is.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing it altogether?
4 or 5 years, something like that.
And is it just you mostly helping out, or is there?
I mean, I've got a team of about 3 or 4 people.
Oh, okay.
But I do most of the milk and all of that. I mean, something wrong, I'm the one that fixes it.
Yep.
So basically what happens here is they go from calving, and after calving, you've got, I don't know, 3 or 6 months of being actual calves, if you will. Then after that, they come out to a field like this. That's when they're classified as heifers. And I'm sure that you guys know what the heifers mean. Just means they're unbred females getting ready to be bred. And that probably lasts, I don't know, about 6 to 8 months, because usually we breed them right around the 2-year mark. But after that, and after they give birth, that's when they're officially considered a dairy cattle. So from birth to actually being able to milk is probably 2.5, 3 years.
Do you breed them yourself, or do you get them?
We work with a company. We do mainly AI right now. I wish we could get away from it, but we really can't, not yet. We usually have a bull. We don't right now.
What would you do ideally if you could get away from that?
My goal here is to get back to what it originally was. Because how can you claim you're organic when everything was bred for? So basically my goal is to breed everything back in that was bred out. And that'll give you what's called a tri-bred. Meat, milk, and transportation will all be done by this cow. Which, don't know if you know, but nowadays that's unheard of. This cow will be about 2,200 pounds, give you about 3 or 4 gallons of milk per milking, and be able to take you where you need to go. The only reason it was bred out is it's not specialized in anything. And people don't like that.
Yeah, everything's specialized now.
Right up here, this one is number 48. They all got names. Her name's Unique. Oh, sorry, no, that one's Stubby.
Stubby?
Yeah, we had an issue with her tail, but so now she's Stubby. They all got names. Do I know them all? Probably not. These here are mainly our milk cows. We got a couple heifers mixed in to get them used to the process of everything. But the breeding program is supposed to get it back to where it's supposed to be. Right now, we're looking at an 8 to 12-year program.
Okay.
And from there, I'm going to tack on another 4 years to breed the natural way instead of using AI.
Gotcha, okay.
So if I had it my way, we would have a bull here 24/7.
Yeah.
But due to unforeseen circumstances and safety issues, that's not always able to be done. Don't know if you guys knew, but the Jersey bull is the meanest bull there is.
I didn't know that.
They're the smallest, but they're definitely the meanest. We've had people hurt. I myself, I've broken 3 ribs. So definitely take some precautions.
For your breeding, you're just looking to breed for your own herd?
So there's actually 4 of us nationwide doing it.
Okay.
I've got one in Michigan, one in Illinois. Sorry, not Illinois. One in Michigan, one in California, one in Texas. Between the 4 of us, we done 2,000 or 3,000 hours of research, working with scientists. I forget the name of the organization we're working with. Basically, we were able to take, well, actually number 70 there, her DNA and DNA from the other cows that they've got, and find the common thread. And from that common thread, we were able to analyze it and break it down and see what was actually bred out of it. A lot of people will say it's not the best thing to do. My thing is, again, how can we claim we're organic when we bred for everything?
What's the argument against it?
Meaning, why mess with something that works? My thing is, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these cows, we've faced, they're very fragile. They don't look fragile, but they're fragile. A little bit of sickness, a little bit of twisted ankle, they're done.
Yeah.
The thing with breeding everything back in is they're a lot more resilient. They're not specialized in anything. I don't need them to be special. I need them to survive. And definitely as these generations get older and older with all these specialized AI breedings, the longevity of the cow is going down. And that's a huge issue. And it's not talked about enough. So my thing is, why not just get back to what it was and say, screw AI?
I mean, it makes perfect sense to me.
But that's kind of the goal here. Unfortunately, it is an 8 to a 12-year process.
Wow. Wow.
And right now, I'm only in generation 2.
Really?
So I've got another 6 to 8 years yet. So we started there with number 70. Her next calf will be the first actual product that will be the next step. She's a red Norwegian, which is in the Holstein family. She's definitely is kind of spunky, and that's another thing we need to watch when we're breeding is what kind of temperament are we breeding. Because all of that is genetic. Same thing with their hooves. Their hoof condition is genetic. Most things minus bacterial diseases is genetic. Yep, welcome to nature.
B-roll.
Definitely welcome to nature. But yeah, regenerative-wise, mainly the gist of it is we grow our own hay and grain, and from that, it goes through the cow system and goes right back to the earth. And that's mainly what we are regenerative-wise.
Do you guys rotate paddocks out?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's another big thing about an operation like this is you don't got to be super duper scientific. You can be, or you can just work with nature and let nature tell you to do what you need to do when you need to do it. Another huge bonus here is, like I said, that pond is one of the biggest bonuses we've ever had.
Yeah.
Especially whenever power goes out or whatever, we've got ways of feeding all of the cows water from the pond.
So is that is their main source of water?
It can be. It's not usually, but it's set up to do that if we need it to. Especially with more and more tornadoes around here. If we get knocked out power-wise, we need a way to care for our animals without power. And that's another big thing I think a lot of farmers miss, is that they don't always have means to care without power. We're gonna veer over this way. That way you can kind of get a photo and picture of these calves. I've got one specifically you're gonna wanna see. She's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And I believe she's a full Jersey, which is unheard of for how she looks. Mainly for breeds of cows, for us there's Jersey, Mount Bellier, which is a French cheese cow, Holstein, and then Red Norwegian, which is a breed of Holstein, if you will.
There you go.
They just got their milk. This one over here is the one that I think you guys are going to be most interested in. Her name is Tulip.
Wow. Tulip.
She's very curious. I'm working on halter and collar breaking her. She's definitely spunky, so if she bucks you, it is what it is. Oh.
So how long do they stay in these?
It varies.
Okay.
Anywhere, depending on the size of the animal. As long as they can get in,
Okay.
especially while we're trying to repair this over here. We've got another pasture on the north side that we utilize. But to fully answer your question, around 6 months.
Okay.
But 6 months is pushing it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I gotta get some of the cat in there. You'd be surprised how many times I come out here and these cats are in here with these calves just cuddling up.
Oh man, that's adorable. So this is that fermented
Yeah, so
marshmallow stuff.
we actually have usually 4 different kinds of hay here. Right now we've got 3. We have the less quality, which usually goes here, then the real good quality, which goes there. What makes it good and bad quality is that's the protein levels. Higher protein, higher quality, better for milking calves, worse for anything else. Then we got some red clover and we got some oatlage. Those are mainly used for heifers and dry cows. I see you found my bull in training. He's gonna be the next generation. As long as he pulls through, but you know, with cattle, you never really know if they're gonna pull through or not. But yeah, these are our dry cows. They're either bred, waiting to be bred, or about to give birth. Dry just simply means that they are not producing milk.
Okay.
Number 67 here, I think her name is Autumn. She'll come up to you, don't worry. Jerseys are very curious.
Yeah.
This is usually where we keep the bull. We don't have one out here now, but one Jersey, which gives the lowest amount of milk, gives about 2 to 2.5 gallons per milking. We do 2 milkings a day. So right there is anywhere between 4 and 5 gallons of milk per day. Well, I don't know about you, but my family, I can't drink 4 or 5 gallons of milk per day.
When it comes to raw milk, do you get a lot of, I would imagine you probably get a lot of flack for that from just people in general who have a lot of opinions about it?
I wouldn't say it's flack, I would say it's misinformation,
Yeah.
and people just not knowing what it is.
I mean, what would you tell someone? Because I've talked about raw milk a couple of times on our YouTube channel or just on various social media, and it seems like it's such a hot button topic. People always just attack any mention of raw milk.
So,
And I don't like, I wonder, like, what someone like you who's more experienced, how
I
do you
can kind
handle
of give
that?
you the history of why it is that way,
Yeah.
and what we do to fight it, and what our thoughts here are.
Okay.
Back in the, I believe it was early 1900s to mid 1900s, a lot of your farmers and everyone was feeding mesh from the whiskey facilities. you know, that really gross stuff,
Yep.
they were feeding it to cattle. And yeah, you got better production because of the fermentation, but it had so many diseases in it. And everyone started getting sick and dying left and right because of the bigger companies pushing this product. And people realized, hey, if I heat up the milk, it kills it and I can drink it just fine, instead of rethinking their process of maybe we shouldn't feed this moldy mesh stuff to these cattle that we're gonna be getting product from. I mean, they didn't think, why would we take care of these guys? And that's the biggest thing, is taking care of your animal. As soon as we find an issue, we fix it or we address it. But my thing, yeah, we do get a lot of flack, but most of it is misinformation. If someone wants to come out here and view the farm, absolutely.
Yeah.
Talk to your farmer.
Yeah.
Just have an honest conversation. Ask me if I've got any cows that are sick. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Because this is a natural operation, there's gonna be issues. How do we fight that? We keep an eye on and we notify people immediately. And if we can't handle the issue, then we send the cow upstairs.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that's what farming is tending to your herd and watching your animals. So to answer your question, yeah, we do get flack, but we get more misinformation, more questions than we do flack.
How many years have you personally been drinking raw milk?
Since I started.
And have you ever gotten sick from it?
Nope.
Yeah.
We have a protocol we do and we test it, because we're able to test for thousands of different bacteria and diseases within a matter of hours. So the big lab up in Akron, that's where we go. As soon as we got an issue, we get a milk sample and we get going. Because we can't afford to play around. So basically we're through the Raw Milk Institute. The Raw Milk Institute is based out of California. There's only one of us in Ohio, that's us. They're also nationwide. They hold us to a whole different standard. If you ever need safe raw milk, that's where you go to. Their biggest thing is testing. We get tested twice a week on, I believe, 2 or 3 different tests. We do somatic cell, a standard plate, and chloroform. Those basically test your cleanliness, the infection level of the cow, and your cleanliness of the system. And if any of those are high, you're kind of in deep crap. The biggest thing about the Raw Milk Institute is they're farmer-based. They will provide you equipment if you need it for your testing and making sure you do what you got to do. I believe there's about 60 or 70 farms nationwide that do it. It is a very extreme process to get into, though, because they will come tour everything. They'll go through cow by cow, and they will walk just about every acre of your land. But you know what? That's okay. Yeah. I'm okay with that, because my biggest thing is making sure that we do have safe milk. So that's basically the gist of that.
Okay guys, that's it for the farm tour. This was a pretty cool one because, as you know, if you watch our videos at all or you subscribe to the channel, you might know that we are in the process of restoring our 17-acre plot of land. And through that process, we plan on adding cattle and getting them into the mix. But we are a few years away from being able to do that. And the cattle side of the operation is something that I know that I'm personally still reading into and learning a lot about it. And so being able to come out here and get firsthand experience on a cattle farm that does both beef and dairy is really interesting. And I'm glad I had the opportunity to do it. So I want to thank Dan and Laramie for giving us that tour. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, do all those things, and we'll do more of these type of videos for you guys. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.